Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 6th. It's 6:24 right now. The market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we'll get started with our analysis for today. So just give me a few seconds to update everything here on the page, and we should be good to go. All right, a couple more things here. Looks good. Looks good. A couple more things. And we should be good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, cool. As people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the areas of liquidity here per usual. So this shouldn't take too long. All right. It's good. There goes the 1 hour. Here goes the 30-minute. Goes the 15-minute. $10-minute. $5-minute. It's good. And lastly, the 1 minute here. All right. Looks good for the most part. So looking over here at the chart, you guys can see there's a lot of liquidity on basically both sides, but we'll see where this ends up when the market does open. So it's 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 6th, 6:27 currently. Market's going to open in 3 minutes. Let's take a look at what the overall bias is for the day so that we can kind of have an idea as to where to trade. So let's see. Morning, Alexander. Morning, Stern. Morning, Kurt. Morning, Peter. Morning, Marlon. Morning, Maria. Morning, Fahad. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Marco. Morning, Randy. Morning, Albert. Morning, Akil. Morning, Natasha. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Tody. Morning, everybody. So let's pull that up real quick. Looking over here at the sentiment, it is currently 59% long, indicating that 59% of retail traders are currently buying. We typically want to do the opposite and sell. So we're probably going to be looking for sells today. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently down 14 points. So it's not very strong, but it is somewhat bearish. So we have a somewhat bearish bias. It's not very strong, but it is bearish. So we'll be using that to our advantage. Let me check the news real quick to see if there's anything, for us to follow today. Looking over here at the news this morning. Today's Wednesday the 6th. We had news at 6 o'clock. We have Fed member Williams speaking. We have news at 6:45 and then news again at 7 and at 11. So 6:45. Let me just mark up news price over here before market open, which was 6 o'clock. Right there. And then we have news coming up at 6:45. Just want to make sure we're aware. And 7 o'clock. We have another one coming up at 11, but we won't be live during that period, so it's not going to be very relevant to us. Anyways, market's going to open shortly, guys, in about 30 seconds. We'll see what happens soon. Morning, Vince. Morning, everybody. Looks like we're good to go. I think other than that, there's not really much other news. 6:45, 7, 11. But everything else pretty much marked up and good to go. So we're probably going to be looking for a possible sell here, but we will have to confirm that, obviously. All right, market is opening in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open, guys. So let's see where price pushes around to. You can see right here, price kind of pushed up. It's pushing through the area of liquidity right here. It's kind of just bouncing around. We currently have a sell momentum right here. Our bias is for a sell, so we might be looking for a possible sell. However, if this candle here closes with a green candle, a green buy signal, then the direction for momentum will be changing. So taking a look at the breakout right here, it's kind of a messy breakout. It's like, it kind of looks worse than yesterday. But we'll see where it goes from here. In order for us to take the breakout entry for a sell, because we do have a sell momentum, we need a strong red candle. If we don't get that strong red candle, then we're just gonna have to wait for it. We have about 5 minutes till 6:35, which is the cutoff. And we'll just follow along and see where we can go. The problem with this here is that even if we do get a sell, it's right at the sessions. All right, so this is technically the breakout right here, but it's right at the session. So I'm gonna hold off on it for a little bit. But this is the breakout right here, if you guys are wondering. It's in a very dangerous area though. It's like literally at the session. So I'm not taking it. Obviously you can see this is why. See how crazy it moved? It was literally at the sessions. So that's the biggest red flag that we look out for. And this is exactly why we're not taking the trade. Price is near sessions. You guys can see how crazy it moves when it's around that point. So hopefully nobody took it. I did mark it up for you guys to show you, but it was literally like right at that green line. This green line right here is going to be the New York high. So we're going to skip the breakout for today. No breakout because it was literally the worst time to enter. And you do see some manipulation here in the market. So we'll keep following along and confirm if there's anything else for us to look at. Thanks, Casey, for letting me know. Let me take a look at the 15 here. Damn, so I missed it. Actually, I didn't miss it. There's actually another buy that could be. So if you guys watch the watch the mentoring session yesterday, I covered this strategy on the 15-minute. I actually took this yesterday and it hit full TP. So there might be a buy entry right here off this 15. If you guys might be interested in it. This 15-minute strategy right here is the 15-minute. Where's it at? I gotta update this chart. I swear I had it on here. My charts just kind of went all over the place. But yes, there's a possible entry here for the 15-minute high low if this closes. So if this closes right here, I'm anticipating it to push at least 500 pips. It's kind of a big candle, but I do expect it to still push around 500 pips. And I'll follow it and see if we can take this right here. However, like Maddie said, it is right at the sessions, I believe, right? Yeah, you're right. It's right at the sessions. Peter's asking bias on requirement. No. So if you haven't, I would recommend go watching the mentoring session from yesterday, Peter, but there's no bias for this is not this official strategy. So if you guys haven't watched the mentoring session, you guys are confused about this, go watch it first. This isn't an official strategy yet. We're still testing it. So when we test the strategy, we test it off the baseline. We don't include the bias or anything specific. If it needs the bias, then we'll add it to it. But currently from our back test or from our forward test, it doesn't necessarily need it. So we're not using it at the moment, Peter. But if we do need it later in the future, then yeah, maybe, but we don't need it right now. So something that you might want to take a look at. So I'll keep following this right here. If this closes, we'll mark it up and we'll follow it. I don't think I will be taking it personally, but I'll see where it's at. If I do take it, I'll let you guys know. But we'll have to see. I think it should be fine though. The only problem with this here is even if it closes below here, it's still gonna have to cut through the session, just like Maddie said. So we'll have to follow it. It's gonna close in about 10 minutes. So at about 6:45, we'll come back and take a look at this, and we'll see where it closes. So back to the 1 minute over here. There's nothing for us to take at the moment. Currently right now, the trend is somewhat bullish, but it's rejecting, directly off these sessions right here, as you guys can see. This is why we avoid trades near the sessions, right? So if you avoided the breakout here, you wouldn't have been caught in this fake out. And then same if you avoided a trade here off the high, the Asia high, you wouldn't have gotten caught in this fake out either, because price basically faked out to the upside and came right back down. So I'm avoiding all trades around the sessions, specifically on the shorter time frames. On the higher time frames, they are important, but there's going to be some instances where you can avoid them, where you can just ignore them. So we'll see where this goes right here. We don't have any entries here off the 1 minute. I'll come back at 6:45 to check the 15 right here, because this might be an okay entry, even if you use a trailing stop or something like that, something similar. The only problem with the 15-minute strategy is that it typically goes against the bias. So if we're looking for a sell here, it's going to go against it because we don't have that bias for this specific strategy. And it looks like there's actually not going to be an entry. If it isn't closed above this line, then there's no confirmation of a break and close past the previous high low. So we'll come back in a few minutes to check on that. But right now, back to the 1 minute, there's nothing for us to take right here. Price is too close to both of these sessions, the Asia high here and the New York high. So even if we were to find something here, there wouldn't be anything for us to take. All right, so not really too much going on right here. Let me mark up the opening price. Looks like price basically just came back to, or it's trying to come back to opening price, and that's exactly what happened here. So this blue line right here is where price opened to. You guys can see this is 6:30. This is where market open. You can see price had that manipulated push to the upside and it came right back down, back to open, because our overall bias here is going to be a sell, right? The reason for that bias is because the sentiment here, it was 60% long. Now it's 59% long. Looks like some people got stopped out, whoever chased that buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently, they're kind of flat right now. They're up 63 points, but previously they were down like 16 points. So the fundamentals here are not going to be too useful just yet because there's no bias with regard to the fundamentals. Looking over here at the heat maps, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty mixed. So the heat map over here is, yeah, it's pretty mixed. It's half green, half red. There's no clear direction with regard to the fundamentals, but the long-term bias is going to be a sell due to the retail sentiment over here. However, there's just no clear direction here. Yeah, Manny, I agree. I was looking at that too, at the rejection, but there's no, the trend meter is not red, so we couldn't take that if we wanted. So in order for us to have an entry here using this strategy, 15-minute high-low, we need the candle to close above this right here. I'll send in my profits in a little bit, guys. I took a trade yesterday. I took one accidental loss because I was trading on my phone, something that I usually tell you guys not to. But I was just tempted and I accidentally entered a trade too early before the candle closed. And I lost that trade. It was my fault. I made it back on the next one, though. I took the same exact strategy during Asia session. Me and Maddie took it and we hit our full TP. It was a straight 500 pips during Asia. So it was pretty good. We'll come back and look at this. We have about 7 minutes until this candle closes. Back to the 1 minute. And here we go. As price swings right back below the opening price. One thing to keep in mind is that there's news coming up in about 4 minutes or 5 minutes. So you want to be careful with this here. And then again, price is right at these sessions, right down here. So now that price is at the sessions, one of two things are going to happen. Price is either going to bounce off it like it's doing right now, or it's going to fake out, come below, and continue dropping lower. If it does continue to drop lower, one thing to keep in mind is that there's liquidity sitting around this area. So price can continue to drop even further if it does, confirm that push below. All right, so we'll come back to this and see this a little later. If this closes though, I mean, it's still a bit of a risky move, but I could kind of see it pushing up maybe at least enough to hit this TP if and when it does close above there. But we'll see. It's probably not going to though. But, if we get the rejection off the sessions right here, possibly enough for maybe like a quick 500 pip move, or if anything, a trailing stop would be nice, or an early exit. Akil's asking, yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, we do have news coming up shortly, guys. So even if that does close, I probably wouldn't take it, at least not at that very moment, because of the news that's coming up shortly in the next 5 minutes. Let's see, let me scroll up real quick. So Akil's asking about 33. Yes, so this would be a V3 right here, but it would be a risky V3, Akil, because it was at the sessions, right? So if you're following the requirements at this point, I don't know if the fundamentals were red or if they were green, but if you were to apply the strategy as a typical V3, this would be a V3. The high there was a green candle. It's the opposite red candle. Our overall bias with regard to retail sentiment was a sell. I think the fundamentals were technically a sell at that moment. So yes, this was a V3, not one that I would take because it's right at the sessions. The same issue happened down here on open. So it'd be too risky for me. But yes, if you wanted to take it, it would still be a V3. It just depends on your risk parameter. If your risk appetite could handle taking a trade at the sessions, then you could have taken it, but I personally wouldn't myself. But it was a V3 there, Akil. So you did identify that correctly. Randy said huge 5-minute V3. Check. Yeah, it's pretty big, but then again, this is the same issue that we had with the 1 minute. It's right at the it's like literally right at the session above. I think it applies on all the time frames, that same Asia session. And then again, right here, there's another session below. So it's just a messy area to be trading. You guys can see exactly where price kind of faked out. Price came up here, whipped off it, came back down, whipped off this. It's just a messy situation. Bad entry points for that there. So this candle, this 15-minute candle still has about 2 minutes left on it. Timer's right here. Oh yeah, you're right, Maddie. Or no, so it wouldn't be a high-low. Oh no, 1 minute you said. 1 minute high-low rejection. Oh yeah, I saw it. This one right here. Off this one. I've been looking at it, Maddie, and it works too on the 1 minute. So I don't know if you back tested it, but I've been looking at it too. It's just, I need to find the sweet spot. So like on the 15, we have the sweet spot for a TP stop loss. For the 1 minute, obviously it has to be a lot tighter because it doesn't move as fast. But I've been looking at it. So the same strategy right here that I've been applying on the 5 minute guys or the 15-minute, it works on the 1 minute too. It's just trying to find the sweet spot for the entry. So there's another one right here too, Maddie. I don't know if you saw this one. This one rejected directly off this low and it shot all the way up. So it was a nice profit that could have been taken right here. And then again, right here, same thing that Maddie just identified. It rejected off this low, big push to the upside. So I think on the next mentoring session, maybe we'll take a look at this on the 1 minute as well, because it obviously works very well from our analysis here. The only problem with the 1 minute is that we typically want to trade in the direction of bias because it does help when knowing when to trade in the proper direction, but it provides for like really quick scalps if and when you guys want to apply it. But yeah, I agree too, Maddie. 10:30 is best for the 1 minute. It's just because you need that cushion for the spread, and it's just a quick in and out for the most part. All right, so this candle has about like 20 seconds left on it. It is like right at news though. So I don't know if I want to maybe take this for a partial, but we'll see. So it did close right there. Maybe you can take it for like a quick little partial move or something. 15-minute. It's risky though, because it's at news. So news is right here. Let me check the news real quick and see what it has. So the news at 6:45 was final services PMI. News was positive. So we'll see how that affects the market or how the market reacts to it. It's also right at opening price right here. So let's see. It's just risky because it's right at news. So, I mean, it's right at the sessions too. So not necessarily one that I'd probably want to take or recommend taking. Yeah, it's probably a good thing we sat out of that because you guys can see how the market, a lot of people don't believe that market reacts to news, but I mean, it's pretty clear here that it does. So the news was positive, and I'll mark up news price right here, and then price just dropped. I'm not going to be surprised if it comes back down, comes back up and whatnot. But yeah, that was news price right there. So we'll see if there's anything else here. Kurt's asking what's news. I thought news was at 10 from Forex Factory. Pull up Forex Factory again, Kurt, and then check because it's right there. You're probably looking at a different day. If you pull it up, it'll show up right there. So those the services PMI. Let's see. So we're just waiting for price to react to the news, and then from there we'll see if we can find anything. But there really isn't much for us to look at right now. Yeah, I figured you had the wrong day, Kurt. I was like, I don't see anything for 10 o'clock. So yeah, Mason market is dirty. Yeah, no, and that's why I try to give you guys as much red flags or times to avoid the market as possible, because if you guys just keep taking trades like randomly, it's not going to be beneficial to you. If you win trades and then you lose trades, you just end up back at break even, right? So you have to be very selective about what trades you decide to take, especially if you're scalping or if you decide to trade during news. I think news is probably going to be one of the main things to follow. That's like on these 15 minutes, because you're still going to get these weird movements. The sessions and news are probably going to be one of the main things, but other than that, I think the bias isn't as necessary. So unfortunately, I wanted to take the trade, but I didn't for obvious reasons. Good thing I did it because it would have lost. We'll be looking for anything over here on the 1 minute, but we also have news coming up at 7 o'clock. So even if we get an entry between now and then, it might be too soon to the next news event right here at 7 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, Miles said Wacky Wednesday and NFP bad combination. Mehdi said we're stuck between so many red flags right now. Sessions, news, opening price. Yeah, I agree. I do. That's why I'm kind of just waiting around, because there's so many areas here where price can be obviously highly manipulated, and you don't want to get caught in that manipulation. Like for example, here on the 15. So the same trade that we just looked at right now, if you avoided the news and just waited for a late entry right here, it would be back in profit. If you took it when the news came out, it would have went straight to stop loss. But as you can see now, it's pushing right back up, right? So, that's why you would avoid the news. Because if it came out at some point during like Asia session or something, when there's no news for US, it typically would push. But with this one right here, obviously, not as smooth as the move yesterday. So let me see if I can get my profits, and I'll just post them up real quick from last night, just to show you guys the trade that I took. So let me see, I took a screenshot yesterday. So I'm going to show you guys the one that I took, and I'll show you here on the 15-minute as well. There's nothing for us to take right now anyways. News is coming up in about 10 minutes. So even if we see an entry, I wouldn't be able to take it because it's right at news. So I'll just show you what I took yesterday. It was the same strategy that I showed you right here. Just to give you guys a heads up of like, what was applied. So for this strategy right here, trying to find it, where was it at? It was, okay, actually, it wasn't this strategy right here. It was the other one. So there's two different 15-minute strategies that I showed to you guys. So it wasn't this one specifically. I was trying to apply that, and I'll show you the loss too. So here's the loss for that one. I was trading on my phone, so I wasn't able to follow it properly. Let me just clean this up, take off the pivots because it's not necessary, take off the sessions. Okay, so what I did last night was, I made the dumb move and try to trade on my phone, which I typically tell you guys it's not really the best decision. But for this right here, here's a profit off the first trade. So for this one right here, it was a buy. I accidentally took it because I took it early. I didn't have the timer on my MT4 on my phone. And I thought this candle here closed above this line. In order for this strategy to fit, you confirm the trend using the K2 trend meter right here. The trend meter is green, so we're looking for buys. We're looking for unbroken high lows right here. This one wasn't broken yet until this candle passed. For the third requirement, you want to confirm a price break and close. So this is where I screwed up. I entered too early and didn't wait for it to break and close past it, this candle right here. So I took this, and then it ended up pushing up a little bit. I could have taken the trade out and profit if I knew that I made the mistake, but I didn't because I was on my phone, and then it ended up reversing, right? So for my first trade right here, that's how I had that loss. That was like my bad. I shouldn't have taken that trade. It was my mistake. And it's whatever, because I made it right back. So that was that first entry. For the second entry right here, where I made the profit back, was the other 15 minutes. So the other 15 minute is the rejection. The first one that I showed you was basically a continuation. This right here is a rejection back to back in the direction of the trend. So for this entry right here, this is what me and Maddie saw. We saw this candle right here. So for this one, basically, we're doing the same thing, identifying the trend. The trend here is bullish. We're looking for price to retrace, reject off the low, a wick rejection, and then from that point, we take it for 500 pips. And this is where I took the trade for 500 pips, and it went straight to my TP. And this is what me and Maddie took, and that's how I locked in this profit right here at 3,640 by taking this trade. So there's two different strategies that can be applied here on the 15-minute. Both work very well. I'm still testing it. So once I have everything all set in stone and everything's all lined up and we've checked off all of our requirements, then I will teach it to you guys. But right now, this is what I've been applying on the 15-minute, and that's kind of what I was looking for, over here as well. So yeah, just a heads up of like what I'm currently working on and what's to come for a US30. It's basically just a US30 intraday strategy. A lot of people like those set and forget strategies. I do too. So I just saw a pattern here that I saw repeat itself over and over again. It's basically the same strategy we apply on the shorter time frames. It's just on the 15-minute. So back to the charts over here, guys. Market's gonna have news in about 5 minutes, so we're still waiting for that to pass. Clean this up a little bit. So this red line right here is the next news event. It's 7 o'clock, JOLTS job openings. Basically, it's going to indicate how many jobs are available, how many places are hiring, stuff like that. So that's going to be a good indicator as to how the economy is doing. If people are hiring, then the economy is probably going to be doing good. If the people are not hiring, there's less jobs, then it's not going to be good for the economy because we are entering a recession and a lot of people are getting laid off. Just something to keep in mind. So right here at 7 o'clock, we have JOLTS job openings. That's what I just referred to. It's basically all the jobs that are currently hiring and opening right now. And then we have ISM services PMI same time. So high impact news coming up in about 5 minutes. 11, we have the FOMC meeting minutes, and that's it for the day. Yeah, John said we're still at record unemployment. Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. So thankfully for us, you don't really need to be employed if you guys get good at this trading stuff. Like, I think that's like the biggest thing that I like. Well, that I like about trading is that you don't really have to worry about your job, right? If you get good at trading, you don't really have to worry about a job. I know a lot of people are freaking out because they're getting laid off and stuff like that due to the recession. But with trading, but you have to be good at trading. You can't just be trading and not be good, right? If you get good at trading, it's basically like recession proof because we buy and we sell. So we don't necessarily have to buy every time. Typically buy and or sell wherever the market's going. And you can still make pretty decent money even if you're trading a smaller account. So there's nothing here right now at the moment. News is coming up in about 4 minutes. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah, Kwaku say 100% develop a skill and you have a digital ATM. And it's all about discipline too, guys. Like for me, you guys see that I only take maybe 1 or 2 trades a day because I don't like to lose, like, especially during a time like this, right? You don't want to be losing any trades and then end up in a hole. You want to be consistent and treat trading like a job, right? Like a job or a business and stuff like that. Like your main goal is really to make money. It's really be net positive each day. Like, yeah, it's nice to be super net positive one day, but you don't have to do that every single day. It's got to be very careful about the entries you decide to take. So news is coming up in about 3 minutes, guys. Hopefully when the news is done, market will clear up a little bit and we can start looking for some, actual good entries. But other than that, I know, right, Jonathan? Definitely. All right. So other than that, let me see what else is going on here. So let me just put this up real quick. Trades from a session. Just loss, mistake. Early requirements. Second trade was line. 15-minute strategies on US30. All right, so I'm just gonna give you guys a little update there so that you guys know exactly where these trades came from. So that's about it right there. I'll move this down here so that you guys are aware of those. Let me scroll up real quick. Nice. Yeah, so Kevin took these trades during London pre-market, hasn't taken any trades since open. So he locked in a crazy profit today. 68K off the day right here. Some solid work right there, Kevin. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. I don't think many people took very many trades, so or nobody really took trades at all yet. There's a lot of news, so hopefully after the news is done, we'll have some trades that we can possibly take. But right now, waiting for it to pass. All right, news in about 1 minute, guys. So let's mark this up right here. All right. So as you can see, this candle right here is moving kind of crazy, right? This thing just went down like 500 pips and it came right back up. So it opened right here, it wicked down here on nearly 500 pips, and then it wicked right back up like 200 pips. So it's a pretty crazy candle. This specific one right here, this is the news candle. So let's see where price goes from here. If it continues back to the downside, then great. If it continues to the upside, then great as well. But let's see if this confirms anything. So it looks like price might be coming down further. So here is the news candle right there. All right, so looking at this right here, news for Jolt's job openings was positive, and ISM Services PMI also positive. So looks like there are a couple more jobs that are available in the market. They're predicting it to be a lot less at 11.05 mil. It's currently 11.25 mil. So, positive news, but still a really big red candle right here. So let's see where price goes from this point. So here we go as price continues to drop lower. But maybe it'll correct back up to this candle. So what might happen is it might just fill this candle, and then from there, it'll choose a direction. So basically what we're looking for, guys, is we're looking for price to get away from this middle area right here, right? This is the area that we don't want to be trading in. Around this entire area, we have news price, opening price, sessions, news price, news price. So this whole area right here is just not a good area to trade. So I prefer it to be down here. And if we have any entries as we continue down lower, then great. But right now, there just isn't anything for us to take right now at the moment. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Tony. Tony said news is positive, but still lower than previous month. Yeah, it's still not the best. It's gonna keep going lower because as we enter the recession, more people are getting laid off, but it's just positive for short term because it was higher than forecasted, but overall the economy isn't doing better. So let's see. Yeah, this one right here, Maddie. I saw that one too. All right, so price is now coming back down, which is fine. We wanted to stay below this line anyways. So basically we're just waiting for it to stay. Let me just use a rectangle tool. So we basically want it to stay below this area right here, right? Because this is like where all the manipulation is happening. You guys can see all these candles right here are all messed up. They're all like, they have big wicks on both sides. There's no clear direction. But if price does come below here, we might get a better push to the downside. I mean, otherwise, price just keeps pushing back into this area and it just keeps bouncing around. So basically, this move right here just filled this red candle. This red candle was the news candle. So this red candle right here was the news candle. You can see how price filled it, and now it's going to choose a direction. Now that price has filled this candle here, it's either going to continue pushing up higher or it's going to come back down in a correction. Taking a look at the retail sentiment is currently 58% long, so it's still looking like a possible sell. Looking over here at the, oh, this is interesting. Let me see this. Biden administration moves to make sweeping changes to broken student loan system. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Biden to come up with some kind of update with student loans. I'm not sure if any of you guys have student loans, but I still have my law school loans. I haven't paid them because we've been in forbearance right now, so I just haven't paid them. I'm hoping Biden comes out because we have to start paying our loans next month. If you guys have student loans, that's when the forbearance ends. Hopefully he either extends it. I think they're going to extend it because if we go into a recession, I don't know how people are going to pay for their student loans, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Biden's Kirk's favorite here, so I'll have to ask Kirk to get some details from him. All right, so back to the charts over here. Still nothing going on over here, guys. It's still in this whole area that we don't want to be trading in, so we have to wait for it to push out of this area. I'll mark it up again right here. This area right here is where a lot of manipulation is happening. We have all the sessions, news price, opening price, etc. So we want price to either, I don't care if it's bullish or bearish, but I want it to be somewhere out here, right? If it's going to be bullish, then great, go ahead and push out there. If it's going to be bearish, then I want it to push down here and stay below here. The area I don't want to be trading in is going to be this area right here, because this is where price just keeps getting manipulated and it keeps bouncing back and forth, right? So you can see a lot of fake outs right here. Price will just range within this area. It'll break out, fake out, come back in, break out below here, fake out, come back up. So we need it to be somewhere around this area or somewhere below here. Once we get that, then we can start looking for some trades. But currently right now, there just isn't anything for us to take because price just keeps getting sucked back into this range right here. So I'll take this off. Hopefully it pushes out right here. If it does push out to this area, it's not going to be in the direction of the sentiment, but fundamentals might be shifting a little bit as price continues to move along. Yeah, kills to think on UK student loans aren't like the USA. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. The student loan system here in the US is super broken. Like, they really don't educate you on your student loans. Like, people will take a ton of student loans out for college and get like a useless degree, and then they end up with all this debt after. Like, I didn't have a useless degree. I went to law school and I'm an attorney, but it's still broken. Like, I owe so much for my law school loans, or like I don't even want to pay for it. I could pay for it if I wanted to, but there's no point in paying for it until the forbearance is over with. Yeah, no, Eduardo's college system is broken. D said I simply ignore my student loans. Yeah, I know, I've been ignoring them for years. Even before, when I was not trading full time, I was paying like the bare minimum, and that's probably the worst thing to do. But now that I'm able to pay for it all in full, I can't. I might just make an agreement, like make some sort of negotiate some sort of agreement with the loan servicer. Like, a lot of you guys are not familiar with that, but like you could like reach out to your loan servicer and just tell them like, hey, I'll pay you this amount, and then you guys wipe out all my loans. And typically they'll take it because a lot of people don't pay off their loans anyways. So if you make some sort of commitment to pay some of it at least, they'll usually take your money. Natasha said yes. I wish student loans would just go away. I agree. Same here. All right, so price is now pushed above here. We're just looking for the retest. So now that price is pushed above this area, we're basically just waiting for or confirming the retest. Maddie, this was another high-low scalp. See it? So it was in the direction of the trend. Price pushed above it and could have been a quick 100 pips. So these high-low scalps work perfectly fine on the shorter time frames. It's just you got to be really quick. Nice. Took the V3 here for a sell. I think stop loss might have been too close. No, it's a bit close. Oh, gotcha. Okay, you just went for 10 points. That's fine. Nice, nice. Yeah, no, it's a sweet spot for the 1 minute. Yeah, Eduardo said you'll make it go away by trading. And by that, he means his loans. Yeah, no, thankfully last year I had a really good year trading. You guys have been here, so you guys have seen you know, how K2's progressed. I had a really good year last year, so I was planning on paying off all my student loans, but then they put our loans in forbearance, so I haven't paid for it. I'm kind of hoping that he'll forgive at least maybe half of it, and then I'll just pay the rest of the bulk just to get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, if you guys do really good trading, you guys have a goal in mind, you guys can easily pay off your student loans. That was my goal. That's the whole reason I got into trading. Because I knew as an attorney, I'd probably never pay off my loans. You know, attorneys make decent money. They make good money, but it's not like enough to pay off their student loans. You're probably paying for it the rest of their lives or the rest of my life. So trading like made a huge difference. Yeah, Natasha said that is my hope. I owe a lot of student loans. Yeah, no, I do still now. So I owed like over. So here's the crazy thing. I only owe like 260,000 in principal, but with interest, if you were to accrue it all, I'd owe 340,000 in student loans. So that's why I got into trading. I was trading part-time, and then once I started making more money from trading than being an attorney, that's when I started trading full-time. So I've been trading full-time since 2020. It's been 2 years now. So yeah, no, it's very possible. If you guys set a goal, that's why for me, you guys see my profits. Like I kind of have a goal in mind. I take 2 trades a day, and then each account locks in maybe a couple $1,000 times 5. It's pretty solid. And Natasha said, damn, Sean, I owe 72K, and that's a lot to me. Yeah, well, for me, it was mostly law school loans. You know, law school is super expensive compared to like normal college or even for a master's program. So it's crazy. All right, so price is right back to where we were trying to avoid. So the same area I marked up earlier, guys, where all the manipulation was happening in this area. There's just another fake out. Price came above it, and then it's coming right back down into this area. So what we're looking for at this point is we're looking for a couple things. We're looking for either a retest of this area and a continuation back up, or if price comes back into this area, we just got to wait for it to break back out, whether it be to the upside or to the downside. But we definitely don't want to be trading within this area right here, because this is where a lot of specific areas of manipulation are likely to happen, because we have news price like literally right there, opening price, sessions, news price, and other news price right here too. Let's see. Peter said, so the key reason the breakout was a bad idea today was because it was at the sessions. If the sessions weren't there, would you have taken that entry candle? Yes, that's correct, Peter. Because the bias was for a sell. So I would have taken the trade there for the breakout, but the breakout was like literally right at the it was like literally at the session. So this was the breakout right here, I believe, the 630 candle. And it was like right at the sessions. Out of the red flags here, that's going to be number 1, right? That's going to be the biggest thing I avoid. I almost always avoid the sessions, because for this right here, and look at price come right back down. That's why you want to avoid this area. So this area here that I keep drawing up, you guys can see how crazy price moves once it gets into this area right here, right? So price comes up, fakes out, comes back below. As soon as it enters this area, look at this huge red candle, and it cuts right through it. So just avoid this area, guys. If price gets near this point, just avoid it, because you're going to get a lot of like crazy movements within this area here, whether it's a break right through it. This is a huge candle. Let me see. This candle here dropped almost 1,000 pips in like 1 minute. This is a 1 minute candle, and it's still dropping. Looks like it's gonna hit liquidity right there. And this is so I wouldn't recommend chasing the sell here, guys. I know it looks like it's gonna hit liquidity right there. I wouldn't recommend chasing it because the same thing that happened up here can just happen again down there, right? So price kind of dropped, it shot above here, it faked out, came back into this area. Price dropped below here, it can fake out and come right back up just like it did right there. It did it twice already. So it faked out right here, came below, came down here, faked out, sucked it back into this area right there, sucked it back to this area. It can be another fake out and suck it right back into the pink area right here. So just be aware when the market is being highly manipulated. You know, it's like pretty clear when it's happening. It's just understanding when to just sit out. Because I know it's tempting. You guys see the big drop right here, and you guys want to take the sell because you think price is going to keep dropping even further. But as soon as you enter something like that, it's easy to get caught in, you know, one of these little fake outs and whatnot. Yeah, did you take that, Maddie? It's already 100 pips. So Maddie's basically testing these rejections off the 1 minute. It's basically the same strategy we've been applying here on the 15. So if you took it, Maddie, yeah, okay, cool. So Maddie did take it. He locked his TP in instantly. Solid. All right, so with that done there, let's be another waiting period. Now that prices drop below there, we have another area of liquidity right there. So this might be something for you guys to look out for if price continues dropping back down. So this is what you want to look out for. It's the same thing that we were looking at when price pushed above. Look for the retest. So again, right here, we had price break below. You can see price coming back up here to retest. This is one of the confirmations that you want to look out for, because if this does retest and continue dropping, retest of that area right there and continuation back down. If we get that and price comes back to this area and hits liquidity, then I think price will continue dropping. So check the test right here, the retest of this. I guess you could consider it the zone. Let's see. Peter said that area is IDN opening price. Should add an indicator for it. Oh, London. Okay, I was like IDN, LDN. That's what it was. Yeah, London opening price should add an indicator for it. You know, it's weird. I had an indicator for. I can't remember what happened to it. I had an indicator for like opening for the sessions. Oh, actually, it's like part of this indicator right here, but it doesn't have the line, so it just has the background. Yeah, maybe I can edit this. So like right here, basically, the colors back here will indicate which session is what. So London right there is red, obviously. Asia over here is purple. New York is green. So we do have the colored background here for the sessions. But yeah, maybe that'd be something that I can add on to it, opening price. So I'll probably talk to my brother about that, Peter. That's a good idea. The only thing about that is I don't want the charts to be all messy, right? So I try to keep it as minimal as possible, but it's hard because there's so many things to look at. So price didn't actually come and retest this yet. So I wouldn't really be too wary on taking the sell yet, because this might just be another fake out. Until it comes up and retests this area, I don't think there'd be confirmation of it continuing to drop, unless it drops like super far. If it drops below here and continues dropping, then it might test this area. But you can see this green candle is coming up. It still needs to come and test this, at minimum, this pink line right here. Let's see. I saw your message, Tony. Yeah, that's key. Maddie said, looks like it's lost its sell momentum, needs a retrace. Okay, so there goes the the test of the area that I keep drawing up right here. I'll probably just leave this up so I don't have to keep drawing it, but it's back in the area that we don't want to be trading in, right? So as you guys can see, market open right here at 6:30. So this is market open, and you guys can see the fake outs in both directions. Price open right here, came up, fake out, came back down, sucked it back into this area, came below, fake out, pushed it back up to here, pushed above, fake out. So there's no clear direction at all. Pull back below, rejection off this point, fake out right back to that area. So there goes the retest right here of that area that I was just talking about. Now that price is actually coming back down, if and when it does, one thing to look out for would be this area of liquidity below here. Yeah, I know, Maddie, for sure. Sure, 100%. Nice. So Casey over here posted his profits as well. Casey locked in a nice profit of 7,020 for the day. Nice work, Casey. Kevin over here took a couple quick trades. He said, nice. So he took a couple sells right here in the direction of the bias. Took one buy there, kind of similar to what Maddie took, and it's continuing to push along. Right here again. Nice work. Kevin's killing it. Just great work, guys. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. That's it for right now. There's a couple more profits here that you guys posted up. Patrick over here as well, currently up 2,306. Nice work, Patrick. And Scotty over here too. Scotty's up 1,092. So nice work, guys. I know we haven't had any official trades, but it looks like a lot of you guys here are taking trades just based off the analysis, which is solid. And that's really the key here, right? The key is that you guys are actually able to see what I'm seeing, and you guys are able to take advantage of it. So price right here finally rejected off the area, and it's coming back below here. Next target area is going to be right here. If prices drop below and hits the liquidity. Yeah, no, same here, Maddie. I'm looking for that too. So if it comes back and retests that area, possibly, right? So it comes back and tests and rejects right off that high. Possibility to keep dropping. So how far is that? Yeah, no, looks good. All right, so the other profits over here, Scotty currently at 1,092. We have Charles over here. He said both hit his TP, but no green strips, typical MFF. So Charles over here locked me a total of 686, trading the direction of the bias, which is solid. Hugo over here as well. Yeah, Hugo said got to post when you lose also. Yeah, same here. So Hugo over here, he tried to take the breakout earlier. Unfortunately, it was right at the sessions. Sometimes it breaks right through the sessions and it works. So Hugo here, as you mentioned, you have to post losses too. Like there's going to be losses, guys. So just whenever you guys take a loss, you just have to accept it. But you'll bounce back from it. So Hugo here took his first loss in a while. You can see for the past couple of days, he's been locking in about 5,000 each day. So it's not bad, If you have like a good hot streak, you're going to have a loss every so often. So yeah, me too. So it happens. Even myself, like I took a loss last night. That was my mistake, though. I try to be as transparent with you guys as possible. It's possible to have like no losses, but the losses do happen. People do make mistakes. Like you're gonna take trades that weren't actually there. You're gonna force a trade or FOMO into a trade, and the real key there is to bounce back from it. So Maddie over here as well. He said took some losses, testing some things, but made sure to end in profit. Yeah, so Maddie over here was testing some trades with me last night. He and this morning, so he made some profit this morning, had a couple losses this morning as well, just testing out the strategies that we've been playing around with. But he still ended up with profit of 1,135. So nice work, Maddie. That's a key thing there. Because I feel like if you guys see people with no losses, you think when you do have a loss, it's like a horrible thing, right? But losses are okay. As long as you guys learn from it, you don't keep making the same mistake. Like for me, I took this loss here because I entered the trade too early. Now it just reminded me to never trade on my phone, right? Because this happened because I traded on my phone. If I would have just went to my computer, I would have seen that there was no entry there. But I got greedy, obviously, and I took the trade without waiting for it, and I ended up with a loss. So it's all good, but here we go with price back into this area that we don't want to trade in. So the same area right here, you can see, and the pattern just keeps repeating itself. It'll fake out. So the most recent fake out was right here. And then price just got sucked into this area. So if price ends up pushing above here again, I wouldn't be surprised if it fakes out and then comes right back down into this area. It's just it's a crappy market today, like to say the least. There's no clear direction. You know, you can get faked out in either direction. Like for example, here you could have been identifying this as a sell because price was coming down, and then it just faked out to the top side. And then it came up, then it came back down. It's just markets all over the place today. Back to the 15-minute over here. Not really anything to take. One thing to look out here for, Maddie, is maybe the oh, but you know what? For that rejection, Maddie, we don't have the pending signal. I gotta update this right here. It looks weird because it's not all in caps like the other ones. But yeah, for these rejections here, there's no pending signal on the 15. So I wouldn't necessarily be looking for that. I'd be looking for maybe the break for the high low. We'll come back to it. Yeah, for the 1 minute, not so much because it usually just bounces really quick, especially if you're going for a quick push. As long as you're trading the direction of the trend or bias. Let's take a look at the bias actually. So the bias right now is currently at 59% long. So it hasn't really changed too much. It seems like whoever's stuck in the trade right now, or whoever is like buying, they're just holding on to it and kind of praying that it's going to push up. But this whole area right here is just not the area you want to be trading in. Let's see. Jonathan said, I only need 4 more wins, so I'm being extra cautious and patient. Yeah, no, that's the best decision to make, Jonathan. I mean, you're so close to passing your challenge or your verification, not sure what step you're on. But if you only need 4 trades, you know, just keep it to these quality trades. There's no quality trades available right now, so you probably want to sit it out until it, you know, either breaks above or below. But right now, price is still going between this whole area of high manipulation right down the middle. Still in between all of these like prices that we don't want to trade. It's right next to news price, opening price, sessions. And now it's ranging between opening price right here and the news price below here. All right. Yeah, Maddie said that's why you don't chase the sell. Price went back. NFP week, also FOMC at 11. Yeah, we still have news coming up later, guys. So even if you guys do decide to trade later on today, after we get off the live at 8, one thing you want to keep in mind is that there's still Fed news coming at 11. It's the Fed meeting minutes. So I don't think the Fed meeting is televised today. They're just going to release the minutes later today to basically cover what they discussed. Yeah, Charles said market's moving like a Friday. Yeah, it's moving kind of weird. There's no direction here. I mean, here we go here to the clean chart. So what I'll do over here is I'll just mark up the high lows, and I'll show you guys that there is like literally no direction. It's easier to see once you do it on a clean chart without all the markups. But yeah, literally right now there's just no direction to follow. And it happens. Like, this is why it's important that you guys understand how to identify when the market's moving weird or not, because this will keep you from incurring any losses. So I'll just cut this up into different hours right here. Okay. So market open right here at 6:30. And you can see from this point here, there just isn't any direction, right? So market open right here, it faked out, shot above, came back below, shot right back up, came back below, and then here it is back up. So realistically, price is just ranging between this high and this low. And you can see where price keeps coming back to, right? Price just keeps returning back to opening price right here, which is baseline. This is where market open. Price pushes up, fakes out, comes back below, kind of ranges there for a bit, fakes out below, comes back up, comes back below, comes back up, and it just returns to this area right here. So with that said, there's like there's no real direction to be trading in. If you guys look at this area right here, this is really where price just keeps bouncing around from. It keeps getting stuck back into this range. And this isn't necessarily where you want to be trading, because you can get caught in on the wrong side. And this is just an illustration of like how the market's moving. There's no, typically you want price to be pushing, directional, either push directional for the entire session or push up for the entire session. But here it's not doing that. Price will go up, come down, go up, come down. And then here it is back at opening price again. It's nothing really for us to take away from this. It's just a messy chart. Let's see, Mauricio said had an idiot moment and traded against the bias, got burned. Took a quarter lot. Not a good idea to trade when not fully awake. Yeah, no, it happens, Mauricio. Good thing you took it with a quarter lot though, not a full. Because yeah, that would have burned if you took 4 times that as a full lot. Anyways, yeah. So here's Mauricio's over here. That's where he did. He locked in a total profit of 3,915 right here. Looks like you're trading oil as well. I feel like oil is going to be pretty volatile during the recession. I've been hearing a lot of talks about oil, so maybe oil is something I might play around with as well. So nice work, Mauricio. Close to 4,000 for the day. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. Price is pretty much just pulling right back into this area again. So going back to the clean chart over here, you guys can see how price kind of bounces back and forth between opening price. This is typically going to be like the magnet, right? So whenever price pushes above, you're expecting it to come back to opening price. If price pushes below, you're expecting to get pulled back to opening price right here, right down the middle. So looking at this red candle, you can see exactly where it's getting pulled back to, opening price. So that's considered baseline. If you look over here at the fundamentals, there's no direction, right? You refresh this, it's right down the middle. It hasn't been above 100 points or below 100 points at all this entire day, because every time it goes back to this baseline point, it just goes back to 0. Looking over here at the heat map, yeah, it's still pretty mixed. There's literally no direction. Overall though, it's still looking bearish, 58% long. So from my perspective here, when price is done kind of like messing around this middle area, I think eventually maybe towards the end of the session, price will just drop back below. I think a key area to look out for would be this liquidity, because I think when price hits this point, it's going to drop even lower. and hit this liquidity right here. I don't know if there's anything below that, but yeah. So if price hits this area of liquidity, it's probably going to drop below to the next area. And then if it hits this area, it's probably going to drop down to the next one. So I don't know when this will like necessarily happen, but if the retail sentiment stays overall long, then I think price will eventually make its way down here. Might happen today, might happen tomorrow, might happen when the Fed news comes out at 11. There's really no saying, because the Fed news will be a big deciding factor with regard to how the economy is currently moving. Gotcha, Mauricio. Yeah, Mauricio said oil no less than 5 minutes chart. Yeah, that's why I started to move to the 15-minute. The 1 minute chart's okay, but when the market's moving like this, like how we're currently looking at, it becomes a mess, right? So for this, in order to get away from this messy chart, I would move on to like the 15-minute or the 10-minute, because it cleans it up a lot. Like for example, here you don't see that messiness where price is kind of just bouncing back and forth. We do have price not really going anywhere, but you don't have the messiness of, you know, manipulation and whatnot. Plus these candles are a lot bigger. So for me personally, whenever the market gets kind of messy like this, I just move on to the higher time frames. That's why previously we were on the 5 minute and the 3 minute over here. But either way, it's just these are still messy. You can see the 5 minute still messy, lots of wicks on each candle. Same with the 3 minute. So the higher you go, the smoother the charts get. The 10 minute here is kind of smooth. It's not super smooth, but it is looking okay compared to the 1, 3, and 5. So there's nothing over here. I mean, it looks like there might have been some snipes that were available. Actually, no, because it was right at the sessions. I mean, just market in general today, it's just not the tricky market to trade in. So let me just draw that area again. So basically, whenever I draw this zone right here, guys, the only thing that I'm covering this news price right here, which is this pink line, and I'm bringing it down to this news price right here. As you can see, nothing's really happened. It's back down into this area that we don't want to trade in. Looking back over here on the clean chart as well, nothing has really happened, right? Now that price is below opening price, I wouldn't be surprised if we get sucked back into this magnet right here, which is baseline. And again, right there, it's getting pulled right back to it. So whenever price passes this area, you can see where it gets pulled right back to that blue line. Price will pull above it, it'll come back down. Price pulls below it, it comes back up, pulls below it again right here, it comes right back to that point. And you can see where it's rejecting. It's rejecting literally off that blue line. Like not even a pip away from it, right? Like literally on the line. Same with this one. So it's a critical price point to look out for. Here we go, as price drops lower, but it's still going to be within that zoned area that we've drawn up. Let's see. So we're looking at this right here. Melzon just sending some profits. Let's see. Melzon said Asia profits risky, so I took it on one account. So Melzon has been chilling during the session too. He took this during Asia session, took a sell, nice profit 520, but nothing this morning. So I'm glad that a lot of you guys are being careful this morning, just like I am, because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade and get a loss taking a risky trade, especially during a period like this where there's no direction. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If you guys want me to cover anything, any strategies, concepts, I mean, any questions in general, you guys are more than welcome to ask, because right now we're not really looking for anything specific. Price is still in this area that we don't want to be trading in. So I don't have anything for me to take at the moment. And either way, there isn't any entries to take to begin with. There are no variations that came up, no pivot scalp. Like there's a sell signal right here, but it didn't close below the pivot. So there's like literally no entries for us to take right now. So if you guys have any questions or you guys want me to cover anything, if there's any strategies that you guys want me to review, any trades you want me to review, just go ahead and put them in the chat and we can take a look. I'm just trying to make the best use of our time here, because I don't really see anything happening for the next 20 minutes as we get closer to 8 o'clock, which is my cutoff time. So Kill is asking, you planning on trading oil this summer? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I might try this strategy, the same one that we're doing here on US30 on oil. So let me just check US oil real quick, because I think it should work. Is this the symbol that you use, Mauricio, US oil? I haven't traded oil in a long time, so I'm not sure which symbol is typically used. But the same strategy, okay, yes, we use US oil too. The same strategy that I was just looking at over here on US30, it works perfectly fine with oil. So here's a strategy that we just went over during the mentoring session. The K2 15-minute high-low strategy. So check this out. Super, super simple strategy. Confirm the trend. Trend meter around here is red, so it's bearish. Confirm previous unbroken high-low. This one here is broken, so we can't use this, but this one right here hasn't been broken. Confirm price break and close below it. So this candle right here breaks and closes past this low. You confirm your trade in the direction of momentum. We have a sell momentum right here. You enter on the close of the candle. I'm not sure what the range is because I don't trade gold. I'm assuming it'd be something similar to what we've been applying. I don't know what's the sweet spot here. Do you have a sweet spot, Mauricio? Maybe at 100 pips or maybe even 200? Gotcha. Your price is usually $2. It shouldn't make a difference though. Like you can align it with your trading view. But it looks like the sweet spot here might be like 150. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So maybe 150 pips. I'm not sure if this is pips or points, but whatever it is, if you were to let that run, you let it push below. Looks like it would have hit TP right there. So in order for me to trade this, I have to find the sweet spot for, TP stop loss and whatnot. But I mean, for the most part, it looks like it's still pretty solid overall. So there's one entry right there. Let me see if there's anything else. I'm just looking at the trend meter down here to see if there's any entries. This right here would not be an entry candle, so I'd skip that. This one right here, no. Looks like the next one would have been right here. So it's the same thing. You confirm the trend using this trend meter. It's red below here. Confirm the high low that hasn't been broken. We're looking for a sell because the trend is red. Confirm break and close. This candle here broke and closed past it. Trading the direction momentum. Sell signal again right there. I mean, depending on what strategy you want to use, it looks like the intraday strategy can work here as well. You have a sell signal, red trend meter. It lines up. You're going for 150 points or pips. I don't know what it's considered here. You let it run. And then another full TP right there. But I would have to find a sweet spot. This might be an outlier. Maybe it's supposed to be like maybe 50, right? Not really sure what oh, gotcha. Yeah, so Mauricio said he uses the same strategy as US30, no different. Oh, so if you use 50, then that'd probably be solid then, if you're using 500 pips. Because if you're looking over here, there's another entry right here. This is why I'd have to play around with it to figure out what the sweet spot is, because it looks like there's another entry right here for a buy. Right there. But I think these candles here are smaller. So if you're going for only 50 pips or 50 points, whatever it's considered. Yeah, so I would have to play around with it. Maybe it has to be tighter, like maybe 25. I don't trade oil, so I'm not sure what the sweet spot would be. But it seems like the strategy here still works perfectly fine. It's just finding out what the sweet spot would be for your entry. Because there's another one right here. it just seems like the market's kind of erratic. So you have to kind of figure out what's the good sweet spot. But if you're doing like a 1-to-1, it's fine, because if you have more wins and losses, then you'll be able to make up for it. Yeah, because it looks pretty solid. I mean, there's another one right here too. This one there. So I don't know, maybe it's 300. Something that I have to test. But basically, a lot of these strategies for US30 work on a lot of other similar assets. Like oil is directional. You can use it for gold. You can use it for, I mean, really whatever you guys want to trade. All right. So other than that, let's see, back to US30. There's nothing for us to take right here, guys, unfortunately. So again, right here, look at the fake out. So price came below, and then it got sucked right back into this area. So as you guys can see, whenever price tries to make its way outside, it just gets sucked right back into this range. So it pulled out right here, came back below, pulled down below here, came back up. There's like no getting out of this area right here. It just keeps ranging within this point. So not too much for us to play with. Yeah, Mauricio said oil is super sensitive to news. Yeah, it is. So if you ever see news events during your oil trade, I'd probably just sit it out, because you'll get some crazy spikes, and you don't want to get caught in those trades, obviously. All right, Randy. Yeah, Randy said, I think I'm out for the day. Thanks, Sean. Definitely, Randy. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, Tony said, yeah, everything looks easier when you don't trade it. When you start to trade it, it becomes not so easy. Yeah, no, that's usually how it is, because your trade psychology starts to cut in, right? If you're not familiar with the thing that you're trading, you're not going to feel confident with your trades. Like for US30 here, I'm very confident with my trades, so I don't really get nervous. But like trading something like oil, which I haven't traded in, like, I don't think I've traded oil since COVID. So it's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 years since I've traded oil. So yeah, I'm not confident with oil. I don't know what the range is. I don't know how it moves. I'd have to trade it a bit before I get, comfortable with it. Yeah, Akil said, honestly, rather trade oil than forex. Oil seems so much easier. It's really not that much easier. Akil. It just depends on your confidence, right? Just like what Todi said, it looks easy, but when you actually apply it, your trade psychology is really going to get the best of you, because you're not familiar with trading the asset. But yeah, with Mauricio, he said US30 is bread and butter. So for me, I'm always going to fall back to US30. I just look for other things to trade during other sessions, but for the most part, US30 is perfectly fine. Like I can trade this 15-minute during Asia session, London session, etc. And then I just trade New York in the morning if and when I see something. So other than that, I don't really see anything here, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out with whatever you guys need help with, especially during a time like this where there's nothing for us to take. I mean, I wish there was something I could take, but price just keeps pulling back into this area. Here we go. As price pulls back below the this range right here. Let's see if it gets pulled right back up. So price right here is rejecting off this this low, and let's see if it ends up swinging right back up to this area up here. Kip said 10-minute daily, 3-minute pivot scalp pending. Let's see. Yeah, so possible daily entry right here if it closes in the next 2 minutes or so. So we'll see that 3-minute pivot scalp, possibly if it closes as well. It's a bit of a tricky move, but possibly. Nice, Maddie. So Maddie's taking some speculative moves here. Quick profit right there, Maddie. So that's nice. So here he goes. Price pulls back below, and we'll see if it pulls back into that center area. Looks like volatility can die down a bit. All right, let's see if price reaches this area of liquidity below here. Let's see. This chart. Just I wouldn't recommend chasing it, but if you guys do, just be careful, because even though price has hit the area of liquidity right here, it might just like swing right back up. Let's see. Yeah, it's not even 100 pips, so it's going to be hard for you to take this liquidity push if anyone does decide to take it, because you might get pulled up before it actually hits your TP. Typically, I like it when the zone is like at least 100 pips, so that you can at least push through it and lock in profit. But with this right here, it does look a bit risky, because it might not cover, and you also got to cover the spread. Spread's 110 points right now. So realistically, you'll be moving for this, but to get pulled out of the position, you need to get at least this much of a move. You got to cover spread, plus you got to cover, your 100 pips or so. So it's actually a pretty big push that's required to get out of that trade safely. Yeah, Kip said keeps teasing, but it's coming soon. Yeah, and I see it too, Kip. That's exactly what I'm looking for. This is the target area. Because when it hits this point, it might push down to the next area of liquidity below here. Charles said it's almost 8 amount. Definitely, Charles. Yeah, it's probably a good time to cut out. I'm not gonna, if I don't see anything by 8, I'm just gonna sit out the day too. I'm okay with my 600 bucks. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than a loss. So I'll take my 600 bucks that I made off the trade from last night. I mean, 600 times 5. Yeah, it's not bad. It's something. 3,000. Janae's asking, how do you find out the spread? The spread shows in your Market Watch tab. It also shows if you're using the FTMO tool, Janae. I have the FTMO tool on my screen, so it says right here. There's like an option right there where it says spread. But there's different ways to look at it. You can also see on the Market Watch tab. If you have Market Watch open on your MT4, you can check off spread, so it shows you the information there as well. So yeah, kill city. I'm done for the day. See you tomorrow, Sean. Yeah, definitely a kill. I'll see you then. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. It's 7:52 right now, so there's not really much for us to look at. I'm probably just gonna wrap it up because there's nothing for me to take. As you can see, price is getting faked out and it's getting pulled right back into the center right here. So it didn't reach the target area right here. That's why I was telling you guys probably not to chase it, because it's just getting pulled right back into this middle point. So see Kirk to the daily. Yeah, the daily did close right here, but again, it's not really much of a good entry because it's still within this area here. It's still getting pulled back into that area that we don't really want to be trading in. Yeah, no, Kwaku said ugly ass price action today, LOL. I agree. Not really much for us to take away from the market. It's just bouncing back and forth. Yeah, Charles said tricky day today. I agree. Yeah, so hopefully you guys didn't take any losses today. You guys kind of just sat out the market like I did. Unfortunately, there was nothing we could take. Price had no direction today, just kept bouncing back and forth. Here's a clean chart, as you guys can see. Still no direction. Price would push up, pull back down, push up, pull back down, but no clear direction either to the downside or either to the upside. It'll just push slightly in one direction, pull back up to baseline, and then it just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. So if you guys don't have to trade for the rest of the day, I would recommend just sitting it out. We do have Fed news coming up at 11. So it is 8 o'clock right now, almost 9, 10, 11, about 3 hours. Fed news will be coming out right here. Fed meeting minutes. It's basically going to be the notes from their meeting to discuss the economy here in the US. So other than that, I think that's about it. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow as we take on Thursday for this week. So if you guys don't have a trade to sit up the market, if you do, then I do recommend being very careful with whatever positions you guys do decide to take, because the market is faking out pretty much every time it pulls out of this center area right here. So when price pulls back into this area, which is likely to happen, once it pulls out again, it's probably going to fake out. So just be careful if you guys do get FOMO and want to chase a trade that isn't necessarily a safe one. So, all right, guys, that's about it. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here back tomorrow for the next live session.